Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire. So I'm joined by Marty on the right hand side and myself. Fletch, aka Paul, is in the field next door, which is the ploughed field, but Marty and I have both got bad knees and walking in a ploughed field ain't easy, so we've decided to come into this stubble field because it's been chopped back a little bit. It was getting almost knee high in parts with all the wild grasses and barley because the weather's been so mild. But the farmer's come in with his topper a couple of weeks ago and he's trimmed it, so makes it a bit easier to swing a metal detector. Marty had that beautiful Roman coin. Well, in fact, he had a few Roman coins out this field, so fingers crossed, let's see what we can turn up. We have a first signal just within literally 1 minute of starting. Sounds reasonable. It's quite close to the edge of the field though, so may well be a bit of tin foil or aluminium, but let's see what we get. And it is indeed, as suspected, a piece of tin foil. These are the outtakes that you normally don't see. Strange one for Martin. Any ideas what this is? It's like a little nail type plug, but it's made of lead, which seems like a strange material because it's not exactly strong, and when you hit it with a hammer it's going to quite easily bend. So any idea what that could be? Martin with another good find. Look at that. It looks like some kind of medallion or a St. Christopher type thing. So give it a wee peel out the clod and let's see what kind of detail we've got on it. A little cross and the letter M. M for Mary?
Martha.
Martha.
St. Martha, she's a travel one, I think.
Oh, so it actually says Martha on it.
I don't know.
It's
the only one I know.
I thought you were just coming up with names. This is the reverse. You've got a cross and you've definitely got the letter M. We're either going with Mary or with Martha. And on this side we've got a figure. And we've got conceived without something. Us who something. Cursed to the something, I think. Seems to be a little medallion. It's probably had a little loop at the top that's broken off. And it looks like it's made of silver, or certainly part silver. It's got a bit of weight to it. Not really got much in the way of corrosion on it, so I guess I would probably say it's probably some time between sort of 1850s and 1950s, but if you know any more, well, let us know in the comments. Well, now Marty's just went and got a coin too, so let's go and see what he's got. Well, here's Martin's coin. It's pretty corroded on the head side, but that is Queen Elizabeth II's father, which is George VI. You can just see the V1. And on this side it's a ship's halfpenny. Seem to have had quite a few of these recently. And date wise it looks like 1947, so a halfpenny 1947. Good start. I think I might have my first coin. Because that sounds very good. I can just make out a head in the centre, facing to the right. The odd letter, G, E, there's another G. I think we have Georgius. And on the reverse, I can just make out the legs here of Britannia seated. So that is going to be George III, which puts it sometime between 1760 and 1820. Marty, just about 10 metres away from me, has got a coin as well. Possibly the Scottish Detectorists. Possibly. Oh, it is. It's a good one. It's definitely George III. So yeah, you can just make out 111 up here. George the Third, looks like a halfpenny. And somewhere on there is Britannia, pretty toasty on the back though. I can just make it out. There's her head up there, and the shield down here. So George the Third, and same date as mine, but in better condition. 1760 through to 1820. The madness of King George. King George who lost the Americas. Very good. Good start. Barely 2 minutes since his last one. Marty is on coin number 3. I knew I picked the wrong line. This is the line I was going to choose, and you nicked it. He's got another. He's got another George the Third. That unmistakable big tatty head that he's got, a big potato head with a big nose. I'll look into the right hand side. You can just make out DG for De Gracia. And you got 111 up here. So again, it's a halfpenny. Probably dates to, I think they were all made about 18, or a lot of them were made about 1802 or 1806, something like that. But as with before, he ruled from 1760 through to 1820. You can just make out the outline of Britannia on the reverse. Good. So that's 3 coins for you in half an hour.
Yeah.
2 of them George the Third, and a George the Third for me. A digger for me. Sounds okay. I wouldn't say it's a coin, but it sounds alright. We're out the hole, and it does sound better now. So maybe it is a coin after all. Maybe not. It's a big bit of lead by the looks of it. It is an old piece of lead that's folded over. Let's give it a wee rub up, see if we can see any detail. Nothing obvious, got this kind of line round the edge, but I think that's just the way it's been folded. Possibly a little bit of sort of roofing sheet. Bit of lead sheeting for a roof, but who knows. It's got a bit of age to it because it's turned white, so it's been in the ground for a while. Could be any kind of age really, but we'll never know. And another signal not far from the last one. Bit dodgy, but let's go for it. We're out at the third scoop, and I can see something there. It's a tractory related part. It's what we call in the business a knob. Well, I think we might have another coin. Almost sounds silver. Let's see if we get lucky. Out in scoop number 1. And now the moment of truth. There we go. Shaped like a coin. But is it a button? No. I don't think so. I think we've got another crusty George, possibly. Right, let's give it a wee rub-a-dub and see if we can get any detail. Well, it is wrecked. Completely wrecked. It is a coin. That's about all I can tell you. I suspect it's probably going to be George the Third again. But it could be George the First or George the Second. Definitely isn't any later than George the Third. It's just got that sort of size and shape to it. So I would guess it's probably George the Third, which would put it again 1760 to 1820. But if it went back as far as George the First, it could be back to sort of 1714. Got another digger. So this strip here, you can see it's been cut by the farmer because the barley and the wild grass was growing so long. So we've kind of avoided this area because it was just too long to swing your coil. As a result, it seems like there's quite a bit of stuff here, so worth a go. Out the hole on the first scoop again. Seems to be around here. Is that it? It is. That is it. But I don't think it's a coin. It looks like a bit of lead again. Let's give it a wee rub-a-dub on the trousers. It's a little fragment of lead. Can't really see any obvious markings or decoration. Could be any kind of age. Could be 100 years old, could be 1,000 years old. We just never know. But lead's always a good sign that maybe there's something old to be had, because back in the day it was almost like the plastic of its time. Everything was made from lead. No one realised that they were actually poisoning themselves, but hey ho. We've been joined in the distance. Can't quite get him in, but Fletch, aka Paul, is over there. He's had enough of the ploughed field. I've got another belting signal right here. Again, that sounds like a coin all day long. We are once again out on the first dig. Maybe not. Oh, we are. Falling out. Or is that another signal under the ground? Oh, there we go. Got something round. Maybe a bit of a button or something. Not sure about that one. Well, what do you reckon to this? I think this could be a Roman coin. This figure here, it looks like either a kangaroo or a giraffe or something. It looks a bit like a giraffe like that. It looks a bit like a kangaroo like that. I don't know. I'm just imagining things maybe. But on this side, I think that's a head in the centre. It's pretty corroded. That looks like hair up here. Possibly a chin here, a mouth, a nose, an eye. What do you reckon? It's a real, if it's a coin, it's really, really chunky. You know, it's like what you would expect from a Roman coin. It's almost like a denarius, you know, it's quite really, really heavy, chunky coin, but it's not silver, it looks bronze to me. Or maybe even copper, or a bit of both. Could that be a Roman coin? Marty had, 3, 4, 5 Roman coins off this field just a month or so ago. And we've had quite a number of Roman coins off this field in the past, so what do you reckon? I think that's Roman. Which, if it is, would mean that this coin is probably going to be somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000 years old. Well, let me know in the comments. It's looking more and more Roman the more I look at it. And another good signal. Could be a coin. Let's see. Again, out on the first hole. And I think we have got a button or a coin. Moment of truth. Has it got a shank? No, it doesn't. So I think we have got a turner. Possibly another one of these copper 2p pieces from the 1600s. It's very thin. And we tend to get quite a lot of them. It looks the right sort of size. Well, I was wrong. Can you see a head on that? I can. Looking to the right hand side, it's very difficult to see. And on the other side, do you see a figure with a staff to the right hand side? And it looks like they've got their arm out behind them. That is a Roman coin. That is a 4th century Roman coin. Probably from someone like Constantius or Constantine the Great. Probably puts it sometime in the 330s, 340s. Something like that. So much for it being a 350, 400 year old Scottish turner. It's a 1,700 year old Roman coin. Martin, who found the 5 Roman coins in this field, probably less than 50 metres away from where I am just now, and they were all 4th century in date. So this is definitely a Roman coin. That last coin, I only got that there, so I've not come far at all. 10 metres at a push. So I think that other coin is Roman, and I think this coin is definitely Roman. The figure on the back, I'm sure we've had these before. I'm sure it's something like emperor dragging captive. So it's someone on their knees being pulled behind by a Roman emperor. And I'm pretty certain this dates to around 330 AD. So that's magnificent. I forgot to bring my GPS, so X marks the spot. I'll return back later on this afternoon or tomorrow and get a proper coordinate of where I found it. Martin hasn't had any new finds, but here is Fletchy's top finds. He's got a little figure missing a hand. Looks like they're wearing a tuxedo or a toga. In fact, could that be like a lion draped around their shoulder? You know how you get who's the figure from Greek mythology? The Rock did a movie where he pretended to be Hercules.
Oh, okay.
He has a lion's mane draped around his neck. So, anyone else think that could be a lion's mane of Hercules? Don't know. Maybe it's an ancient Roman figurine, or maybe it's a 1950s toy soldier. I'll let you all let me know in the comments. And then Fletch got this little, I think it's probably going to be Queen Victoria, a halfpenny. Pretty toasted though. Can't even see a date or anything on it, but he got something even better than me. Look at that. The cheeky little devil went and got a Roman 4th century coin that is in far better condition than mine. That's a cracking coin. Really good. Try and flip this over one-handed. There we go. And on the back we have got a little figure of someone sitting on a chair by the looks of it. Not sure who that's going to be. It doesn't look like Constantine the Great, but I'm sure it's going to probably date to that sort of period. So it's probably going to be sometime in the early 300s to the 360s, 370s AD. That's an excellent find. Well done to Fletch. Well, that'll be us for today, but what I'll do another little video at the end with one of my best finds over the last 22 years, seeing as that seems to be proving popular, so stay tuned. As promised, here is one of my best finds over the last 22 years. This is a hammered silver sixpence of Queen Elizabeth I of England. You can see her bust in the centre looking to the left hand side. She's wearing her crown. She's got her big ruffled neck collar on, and there's a rose to her right hand side. On the reverse we've got a shield. At the top we've got the date 1581, and the shield is in 4 quarters, Top left and bottom right are the fleur de lis, the flowers of the lily of France. And top right and bottom left, we've got the 3 lions of England. So on this side, you can just make out the word Elizabeth. So it's Elizabeth DG, which is de Gratia, Ang, Fran, et Hibernia. So Elizabeth, by the grace of God, Queen of England, France and Ireland. And on the reverse, excuse my Latin pronunciation, we have got Posi Deum, Adivitorium and Mu, which is I have made God my helper. So Queen Elizabeth I was the Queen of England. This coin was found in Scotland, so clearly the coins passed as currency in Scotland. As I mentioned, it's 6 pence. She ruled from 1558 to 1603. She's probably most famous for having her cousin, Mary Queen of Scots, imprisoned for 20 years and eventually executed in 1587. So just 6 years after this coin was made. Mary Queen of Scots was executed at Fotheringay Castle, which was in Northamptonshire. Mary Queen of Scots, as I mentioned, was related to Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth I's father was Henry VIII, who famously had 6 marriages. And Elizabeth was daughter from his second wife, and that was Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was eventually beheaded by Henry VIII for treason, amongst other things. Who wanted to marry Henry VIII, eh? So back in the day, this 6 pence, which is made of silver, would have bought you approximately 3 gallons of ale or 1 gallon of wine, although that wine quality would have been a bit like paint stripper. So it's a beautiful coin. As I say, until fairly recently, it was amongst my best hammered coins I've ever found, but I've been very fortunate in the last couple of years to find a few beauties. So hope you've enjoyed that. More to come. Thanks for watching.